Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video I'm going to be walking you through the ruler project where we are going to learn how to use the pattern tool in order to create an acrylic ruler. So this is your project sheet. It's also a checklist to make sure you have everything correct as you're going. So there's one column where there's a box to check off as you go, another column where it's telling you what you're going to do, and everything really should be on its own sketch. So I know it's a little tedious, but there's a reason for my madness. So make sure you do everything one sketch at a time. Here's the description telling you dimensions and where things should go, and then the length of any lines. And then down here, you're going to be using the text tool. And when you use the text tool, right, we're going to be putting our name, the numbers for our inches, and then the first half-inch line. All of this needs to be on one sketch. Okay, so what I did is I already created a new document. I named it whatever period I'm in, my first name, last initial, project. So I'm going to get started with sketch on the top plane. I'm going to call it base. Just going to make a corner rectangle. It's going to be 6 inches long, 1.5 deep. Then I'm going to confirm it and extrude it. Make sure your extrudes and sketches match. Depth of 1/8. Boom, I always just double check. Now we're going to make our hole so we can kind of hang it, or attach it to your binder, whatever you want to do. You can call it hole or hanging hole. Center point circle. We're going to be making it 0.25 in diameter. Dimension it from the top to the center, and that's going to be 0.5 away. From left and right, 0.5. Okay, I'll confirm it. Extrude the hole. Make sure I call it the same thing as my sketch. I want to remove it. Make sure it's going the right way. I always just check off through all just to be sure. Confirm. So now I have extruded rectangle with a circle through it. Now we are going to be working on the inch lines, the whole inch. So I'm going to go to sketch. Select the top of the base, right, the top of that. We'll call it whole because it's going to be whole inch. You're going to use the line tool, start at the bottom. Extrude it up, it doesn't really matter. Now, when I dimension it, right? Dimension from the top to the bottom, we want that to be an inch. And then from the left and right, we also want to make that an inch. Now, here is where we're going to use the pattern tool. So I certainly could just keep doing lines, 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 and dimensioning them an inch up and an inch over. But we can do this way faster. So if I go here to the linear pattern, I click on it, right? You then need to click on what you want to make it a pattern, right? So I'm going to click on the line, and there's going to be some options. 1x, how far over, and how many, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click. Actually, I'm going to leave that because that's an inch away, right? So they're going to tell you from every over inch. Click here, and we want 6 of them, right? So there's 6 lines, an inch, 6, enter. And you'll notice that now my mouse has a green check if I click it, and then patterns it out. So it's always good to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Can confirm that. Now we're going to go back to sketch, click on the front of the base. Now we're going to do our halves. Same thing. I'll zoom in. It's a little hard to see that, but that's okay. We're going to go up 0.5. Then we're going to dimension how far over it is. And I'm super good, so it's super close. Okay. Now I can go ahead and do linear pattern. Click on what I want to make a pattern of. Now's here where you have to pay attention. So this tells you how far apart they're going to make those lines. Well, since they're half inches, every half inch there'll be a line. So I'm going to put 0.5. Enter. So now they're going to be 0.5. Every half an inch there's going to be this line. But we need to figure out how many we need. Well, since it's 6 inches long, and every half inch we want a line, we're going to do 6 times 2, which is 12. So we're going to make that 12. If I click, then it's going to put all the ½ inches. Now, because 2 halves makes a whole, it's also going to be on the same line as the inch. That's totally fine. Okay, so half. Now I want to do the same thing, but for quarters. All right, again, line, and you can always zoom in so you can see a little bit. It's a little hard to see the lines, which is okay, and I'll show you in a minute. So dimension it 0.25 up, go 0.25 over, pattern it, click on it. Now again here, since it's a quarter, they're 0.25 away. And if there's 4 in every 1 inch, we're going to do 4 times 6, which is 24. Click. So now they all appear. And again, you're going to see that there's the inch line, there's the half line, and now a quarter line, which is okay. Confirm it. Sketch on the front of base again. We're going to make this eighths. Line up. It's 0.125 or 1/8 in case you can't remember. Dimension it from the edge to edge. Again, it's going to be 0.125 or 1/8. Go to the pattern tool, click it. Again, now we want to make it 0.125. Enter. And now we're going to do 8 times 6 because there's 8 of them in 1 inch. But we need to do 8 times 6, as you know, is 48. Click it, or hit enter, and now click, and now it will pattern those all the way out, all the way up to 6 inches. Confirm that. We're almost there. So again, sketch on the front of the base. Make sure it's selected. Call it 16ths. Last dash we gotta do, so bottom to the top, 1/16, or 0.063, which I don't expect you to know. And then 1/16. Bang. Now when we go to linear pattern, click what I want to make a pattern of. You might have to zoom in a little bit, that's okay. For here, 1/16, enter, and then how many we want. Now for this one, you're going to have to do 16 times 6. All right, so 16, because there's 16, we're talking about 16ths, and there are 16 in 1 inch, so 16 times 6, 96. Click, and then confirm your sketch. Now, this looks like a pretty darn good ruler. The only thing, let's personalize it a little bit. And these lines are great, but we don't really know what they are. So if you look towards the bottom of your sheet, it says we're going to put our name in, and you're going to do this all in one sketch. So every single line that you're making is on a different sketch. But all of your text, we're going to do your name, we're going to do your inch marks 1 through 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then your first ½ inch, we're going to label that. So all of your labels and your name is going to be on one sketch called text. So if I go to the text tool, make it, I'm just going to put my last name. You could do your first, it doesn't matter. Confirm it. Now we have to dimension it from the top of the text to the top of our ruler. We are going to do that as 1/8 of an inch. We're also going to go from left to right. Is 1/8 of an inch. And then we're going to make, you see I got super tall, we don't want that. We're going to make the height of our text as 0.25. So you certainly could have made the height first. Doesn't really matter, as long as the height's 0.25 and it's 1/8 over and 1/8 down. Now, for our inch marks, we're going to use the text tool. And what I recommend doing to make your life easier, lock the text in to the top of the inch mark. So I'm going to make sure it's there. I'll click and drag it, and I'm just going to put 1, confirm. And then we'll go back and we will dimension those after. after, because we really just have to dimension the height, right? So I'm going to go here, make sure it's boom. Make sure the top corner is locked in. Same thing here. Like I said, we'll go back and dimension all of these after, just to make our life a little easier. But as you see, I am just locking in the text box to the top left corner, or the top left corner of the box is dimensioned or locked in to our inch mark. Now, if I go back and just dimension the height of all these, and the height of each one of these is going to be 1/2 inch. Just so you can kind of see it, it'll make your life a lot easier. And then we have to do the 1/2 inch as well, so same exact thing. I'll click and drag it with the text tool, lock it in, 1/2, confirm it, and then just dimension it. Again, since they're in proportions, we could just do our height, and our height for that is going to be 1/8 of an inch. Boom. Confirm it. That is what yours should look like. Now, I definitely would make sure that you are renaming everything. Ruler. I would, when you change your color, I would choose like a darker color, so you'll be able to actually see some of those lines. Rename your part studio. Project. And then, just for a good habit to make sure we're, doing everything correctly, just get into those good habits, create a drawing for views, and then make sure that you're showing all your hidden lines. And then just dimension the length, the depth, and our height, which is going to be super tiny, but that's okay. And then always change it to inches fractional. Boom. And you are good to go. Alright, I hope that helps. See you in the next video.